everyone, it's Nicole and Rue. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am super pumped to be partnering up with Cirque Colors to share with you all two new releases from the brand. For June, we have the new Midsummer collection, which features 6 magnetic nail polishes. Cirque Colors is also re-releasing the Aura collection. If you're familiar with their polish Bay, which I feel like is a very popular one from the brand, the collection that was originally released in is getting re-released for June. Yay! Both of these collections are available right now on the Cirque Colors website. If you would like to shop either release, you can use my affiliate code Nicole Loves Nails to save 10% off of the entire website. All of the products featured in today's video were sent to me by Cirque Colors, and today's video is also sponsored. Thank you very much to Cirque Colors for sponsoring today's video. As always, in the description box, I will have links to the brand's website and social media pages, my social media pages, and of course, timestamps as well. Let's get into this video. Going in rainbow order because I can't help myself, we have a Solstice. Cirque Colors describes this one as a rich magenta pink nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. I found Solstice had a fantastic formula. It applied super smoothly and self-leveled very nicely as well. While the brand did use a silver magnetic pigment for this polish, I did find that paired in the base, it does look very much like a very pale pink color. I opted to swatch Solstice in 2 coats and I only magnetized the final layer. That's my own personal preference on magnetizing polishes. You can see here with the cat eye effect that you can really see that beautiful pink base color. Across the board with the magnetics, when you use the cat eye effect, it does cause the polish to kind of shear out a little bit because you're kind of sucking all of the magnetic pigment towards the center of your nail. And I do want to mention, if you're newer to magnetic polishes, you're going to want to hold your magnet of choice on your nail for about 30 to 60 seconds. My full hand swatches here are going to be showing Solstice in 2 coats. My pointer finger and ring finger is unmagnetized. My middle nail is magnetized with the velvet effect, and my ring finger is magnetized with the cat eye effect. The magnetic pigment in this polish is not going to make it difficult to remove, but it will be slightly messier than a cream would. I did not personally experience any staining with this shade, but as always, I do recommend wearing base coat. And now we have Maypole, which the brand describes as a bright chartreuse yellow nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. I knew as soon as I saw this one in the bottle that I was going to be absolutely in love. I love a chartreuse. I fully recognize that chartreuse is very much a yellowy green. In my brain though, I'm calling this one green. I did notice that unmagnetized, it looks a lot more yellow tone. Once you magnetize this one, especially with the cat eye effect, I feel like the green comes out a lot stronger. Maypole also had a fantastic formula, by the way. I did notice it was like slightly on the thicker side, but still super easy to apply and work with and self-leveled really nicely, and it magnetized super easily as well. Paired with the base color, I did notice that the silver magnetic pigment almost looks like a really pale version of a chartreuse color. With the velvet effect, you get a much stronger flash of silver as opposed to the cat eye effect. I was pleasantly surprised to see that I only needed 2 coats to reach full opacity with this polish. I kind of expected it to be a lot more sheer than it ended up being. My full hand swatches are showing Maypole in 2 coats and I only magnetized on the 2nd layer. Removal is going to be super duper easy on this one. It's just going to be a little bit more messy due to the magnetic pigment. This next shade is called Vedure, and Cirque describes it as an emerald green nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. I feel like to my eye, Vedure is very much in like a tealy green kind of family. It has a very strong blue tone in my opinion. I feel like this is going to be one of those shades where if you put it next to like a primary green, it's going to look like a tealish blue. And if you put it next to like a primary blue, it's going to look like a green, which is my way of saying this is a super tricky color for me to describe. I will say it is very much a jewel tone shade, and I fully recognize for the past 31 seconds it has looked like a pastel to y'all, but look now, you see what I mean? Jewel toned. I did have a little bit of visible nail line with this shade when I used the cat eye effect, so I do think if you want this one to be like full coverage and you want to use the cat eye effect or a similar type of magnet, I would recommend this one built up in 3 coats, but for those of you who are with me on Team Velvet Effect, we're good in 2 coats. So that is Vedure in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. Removal is once again going to be super duper easy but slightly messy due to the magnetic pigment. This next polish is called Daybreak, and Cirque describes it as a violet leaning cobalt blue nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. I actually do disagree with Cirque's color description for this one. I feel like to my eye, unmagnetized, this shade looks very much in like the periwinkle family. Very kind of pastel leaning like we saw in the previous polish. However, once you magnetize this one, I did find that the base color on it looks more in the denim blue family with like a little bit of kind of a indigo or a purple undertone.
That's just my opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got something to say.
For the live swatch, I swatched Daybreak in 2 coats, and you can see that it sheared out quite a bit towards the tip of my nail. So I would actually recommend, if you are going to be magnetizing this polish, I would actually recommend this one in 3 coats. My full hand swatches for the cat eye effect nail, that one's actually in 3 coats. Daybreak's formula was fantastic, by the way, just like all the polishes in this collection. Daybreak is one of the few polishes in this collection that I actually like it more in the cat eye effect than I do for the velvet effect. But you know, that's totally going to be personal preference. So that is Daybreak in 2 coats unmagnetized and then 3 coats magnetized on my full hand swatches. Once again, super easy removal, just slightly messy due to the magnetic pigment. And now we have Lush, which Cirque describes as a dusty periwinkle blue nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Lush also had a fantastic formula. This was, however, one of the more sheer polishes in the collection. For Lush, if you're not going to magnetize this shade, I would say it's fantastic in 2 coats. However, if you're going to magnetize the polish, I would recommend building this one up in 3 coats, as it does shear out quite a bit once you magnetize it. For the live swatch, as well as for my full hand swatches, the magnetized nails are in 3 coats. I did add an extra layer for the magnetization, but for the unmagnetized shots, those are also in 2 coats. You can see here with Lush in the cat eye style that I have a very teeny amount of visible nail line on the very tip of my nail. I generally find for the velvet effect style of magnetization that it doesn't tend to shear polishes out as noticeably as it does for a cat eye, and how opaque a magnetic polish is going to be on you, by the way, will also depend on how you choose to magnetize it. If you choose to magnetize every single layer, generally the polish is also going to be a bit more sheer on you than for people who only magnetize the final layer. I generally prefer more opacity and less work when it comes to magnetic, so that is why I only magnetize the final layer when I'm doing them. So that is Lush in 2 and 3 coats, both magnetized and unmagnetized in my full hand swatch. And again, super easy removal, just a little bit messy. And the final polish in the Midsummer collection, we have Flora. Cirque describes this one as an orchid pink nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Just like every other polish in the collection, Flora had a fantastic formula. It was really even, applied very nicely as well, and I found it magnetized super easily for me. I did, however, notice this one does seem to be a tiny bit more on the sheerer side, so I do recommend building this one up in 3 coats if you're planning on magnetizing it. For the live swatch, as well as for my full hand swatches, the magnetized clips are showing the polish in 3 coats with magnetizing on the final layer, and the unmagnetized shots are in 2 coats. As you're seeing here with the cat eye effect, it does shear out quite a bit towards the tips of my nail, so I did have a little bit of visible nail line in the cat eye effect, but I did not have the same visible nail line in the velvetized effect. While Cirque does describe this as being an orchid pink, I did feel that it leans very kind of like a pinky purple type of shade. It's the kind of pinky purple shade where I will go back and forth on whether or not I think it is more pink or more purple. I am currently leaning with more purple than pink. It also is just like slightly dusty, but I have a feeling that by the time I finish this video, I'm going to change my mind again and think it's more pink than purple. My swatches show Flora in 2 coats unmagnetized and in 3 coats on all the magnetized nails. And just like all the other polishes in the collection, removal is going to be super duper easy, but just slightly messy due to the magnetic pigment. First up from the Aura collection, we have Bay. Cirque describes Bay as a light pink nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Bay is actually part of Cirque Color's permanent line, but I am including it in this video as it was originally in the Aura collection. Bay has a fantastic formula. I feel kind of weird talking about Bay as if this is my first time applying the polish, when in actuality I purchased this one a few years ago. For the live swatch and my full hand swatches, I'm showing Bay built up in 3 coats. I do, however, consider this polish a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I have actually worn this one in the past in 2 coats, but for my swatches, I am going to be showing this one in 2 coats unmagnetized and 3 coats magnetized. There is a very good reason why this polish is such a fan favorite with fans of this brand. It is absolutely beautiful. And I say that as someone who usually prefers really bright pinks, but there is just something about this particular color that really just makes my eyeballs very, very happy. As with all magnetics, nothing in here is going to dry down textured on its own, so removal will be very easy, just slightly messy due to the magnetic pigment. This next polish is called Good Vibes Only, and Cirque describes it as a mint green nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Good Vibes Only surprisingly had a fantastic but slightly thicker formula. I was able to get this one opaque on me in 2 coats. I feel like because this one was like a little bit on the thicker side, it also made it quite a bit more opaque. I did still notice that when magnetized, it did shear out just a little bit, so I did have a little bit of visible nail line on the tip of my nail with the cat eye effect. Unmagnetized, I feel like the color of this looks very much like an Easter candy that's like wrapped in a foil. But once you magnetize it, the overall look of the polish darkens up quite a bit, and that kind of like very pale green that you were seeing unmagnetized is what you see in the magnetic stripe. I do think that the base color is on the darker end of the mint green spectrum. I feel like I almost want to describe it as like a medium spring green. The silver magnetic pigment comes across as looking like a very pale green paired with the base color. So that is good vibes only in 2 coats unmagnetized and in 3 coats magnetized. And now we have Mind Over Matter, which Cirque describes as a sky blue nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Mind Over Matter also had a fantastic but slightly thicker formula. I did still find that it applied really nicely, self-leveled perfectly as well, and surprisingly good coverage on that first coat. Not a 1-coater by any stretch of the imagination, just, you know, really good coverage. The second coat does deepen up what you see on the nail, so I would not recommend trying to make this one be opaque in 1. I think it looks a lot better in 2 coats. Unmagnetized, this has very like pastel icy vibes. And then once you magnetize it, that base color, I absolutely love it. I do agree with Cirque colors. It is in the sky blue family, and it also has just like a hint of dustiness qualities to it in my opinion. I am undecided on if I like the cat eye or the velvet effect more. I love that I can see the base color better in the cat eye, but there's just something about that strong silver flash in the velvet effect that just does something for me. For both the live swatch and my full hand swatches, I swatch Mind Over Matter in 2 coats unmagnetized and 2 coats magnetized. And again, for the cat eye style, you might want to add a 3rd layer if you want it to like a little bit more opacity, as it does shear out the polish a little bit. And again, removal is going to be super duper easy, just slightly messy due to the silver magnetic pigment. And now we have Oracle, which Cirque describes as a dark indigo blue magnetic nail polish with a metallic silver pigment. Oracle had a fantastic formula. While it was really close to being a 1-coater on me, I did notice when I added the 2nd coat that you get a bit more depth in the color by adding the 2nd coat, so I would not recommend trying to wear this one in 1 because you're going to really miss out on the depth of color by building it up. Unmagnetized, this has a very like pastel icy vibe, and then once you magnetize it, that dark base color really comes out. The silver magnetic paired so nicely with this base color that the magnetic effect looks like you're getting like a silver to like a bluish purple color on your nail. It's not a true color shifty pigment, but it looks like you're getting multiple colors on the nail, so it's kind of color shifty in a way. My live swatch and my full hand swatches show the polish in 2 coats, both magnetized and unmagnetized. I had some concerns that this was going to be a stainer, so I did opt to add an extra layer of base coat when I was doing my full hand swatches. As always, I do recommend, if you are concerned at all about a polish staining you, to double up on your base coat. I generally find that ridge filling base coats do a better job at protecting from stain versus other types of base coats. So when I was doing my full hand swatches, I did use the Cirque Colors Clean Slate Ridge Filling base coat on top of their Paint and Peel base coat, which is their peel off base coat, and I did not have any issues. This next polish is called Clairvoyant, and Cirque describes it as a lavender nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Clairvoyant also had a fantastic formula. Unmagnetized, this shade gives off very kind of like foily pastel vibes. But similar to the other polishes in the collection, once you magnetize it, it does darken up significantly. While I did find that Clairvoyant does reach full opacity in 2 coats unmagnetized, I do think if you're going to magnetize this one, you're going to be better off adding a 3rd coat. For the live swatch, I magnetized only the 2nd layer. You can see it definitely sheared up quite a bit. For my full hand swatches, however, I did magnetize my 3rd layer. And doing it on the 3rd layer gives you like a smidge more opacity. I did still, however, have a little bit of visible nailing with the cat eye effect in 3 coats. And the final polish in this collection is called Halo. Cirque describes this one as a taupe brown nail polish with a silver magnetic pigment. Halo is another one of the polishes from the original Aura collection that actually made it as part of Cirque's core line. Halo is such an interesting color. I feel like unmagnetized, I'm really struggling with trying to describe the color. It's very sandy, taupey, but also very silver looking. I feel like the overall magnetic effect is very taupey, but the base color looks really brown. For the live swatch, I opted to swatch this one in 2 coats. For my full hand swatches, it'll show the polish in 2 coats unmagnetized and then 3 coats magnetized. With the cat eye effect in particular, this polish looks very much like a jewel tone. Like I swear I've seen this before on like a ring or a necklace or something. Also, in case anyone has been curious about what's been on my hand throughout this entire video, it's been Halo. So that is Halo in 2 coats unmagnetized and in 3 coats magnetized. Super easy removal, just slightly messy due to the magnetic pigment. Alright, so I also wanted to do some comparisons today. So first up for comparisons, we have Flora and Bay. While both of these shades do have silver magnetic pigment in them, the base color is really going to be the biggest difference between the two. Flora has more of like an orchid or like a purpley undertone in comparison to Bay, which I'd put in the kind of like a rose kind of family. It has a bit less saturation than Flora does. And then I also wanted to compare all of the pink and red tone magnetics that I have from Cirque. So what you're seeing here on screen, we have Flora, Bay, Solstice, Perseus, and Ruby Slipper. Both Perseus and Ruby Slipper are described as having red bases. The magnetic pigment in Perseus is pink and the magnetic pigment in Ruby Slipper is red, so they're not that similar to the other 3 shades, but I felt like they were kind of similar, so I did want to pull them out anyway. I unlocked a new stage of Swatcher hell by trying to do comparisons magnetized, and I kind of goofed the magnetization on Ruby Slipper. While I would describe both Solstice and Perseus as like kind of like magenta-y types of pinks, I find that the magnetic pigment in Perseus looks like it's more pinky colored. I feel like you can see the color differences a bit better here in the bottle shots. Like Solstice is definitely more pink leaning, and then Perseus is just like a little bit more red leaning. So next up for comparisons, we have Maypole, Good Vibes Only, and Vedure. I really feel like I might be saying that one wrong, so forgive me.
My bad, I'm sorry.
So I feel like these 3 polishes all are different stages of green. Maypole is a very bright kind of chartreusey type of green. Vedure is like deeper, very like kind of fall vibes type of green. And now we have here Mind Over Matter. I didn't have anything in my Cirque catalog that I thought was like that similar, so I ended up comparing this one to Lush and then Cupid's Bow. Cupid's Bow has more of like a grayed out base with a strong blue shimmer as well as having the silver magnetic, so it's not really that similar to these, but I figured because it has some blue in it, I could compare it to like other blue leaning colors. Mind Over Matter is more of like a medium toned blue, and then Lush is more purpley. Next up for comparisons, I pulled out Blue Velvet. I feel like I'm not the only one who was really in love with Blue Velvet when it came out, so I was honestly really curious to see how it compared to these other shades in this release. So here I have Oracle and here is Daybreak. Oracle is clearly the darkest of the bunch. Oracle is like a deeper, darker blue. Blue Velvet has like a very slight green undertone. And again, it's one of those things where like, I don't think I would have naturally said that this has like a green undertone, but putting it next to Oracle, I'm like, oh, it's a little bit kind of greenish. But again, these are, I would say these are all different levels of blue, but side by side. Blue Velvet's looking a little more green toned. I'd say Oracle is looking like slightly purple leaning, and then Daybreak is a bit lighter and a bit more in the denim blue family, I would personally put it. This final batch of comparisons was probably the hardest one. I honestly did not have anything in my Cirque Colors collection that I thought was that similar to Halo, but I just kind of looked at what I had in like my tannish colors to pull out for comparison. So here I have Mother of Pearl and then Tender Touch. None of these are that similar in my personal opinion, but I figured I could compare them because I have them. Alrighty, so final thoughts. So overall, I thought both releases were fantastic. I found that since both the Aura collection and the Midsummer collection both feature silver magnetic pigment, in my mind, they're kind of meshing together as one big release as opposed to 2 separate releases. I feel like if you were a fan of the Aura collection, you would definitely enjoy the Midsummer collection. I feel like across the board, all these polishes had really great formulas, so I'm going to be picking my personal top picks from both releases just based off of my own personal color preferences. From the Aura collection, I feel like I'm cheating just like a little bit in saying that Bay was my personal top pick from that release, largely because the last time the Aura collection got released, Bay was the only one that I actually did pick up from it because that was the one that spoke to my soul the most. I have worn that one a few times already and I absolutely love it. So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit, but like it's part of the collection, so I'm technically not, but that's the one that I personally have purchased in the past. I'm going to call Oracle my second favorite from the Aura collection, largely because when I had initially saw that one, I kind of thought that was way too dark for me personally. I tend to prefer like brighter colors, but for whatever reason, I got that on my nails and I just felt like witchy vibes. I'm gonna circle back to that one come Halloween time. And for whatever reason, I've suddenly become a seasonal polish wearer somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I'm feeling very seasonal for some reason. Oracle is gonna be my second top pick from this release because I was genuinely shocked at how much I enjoyed it. I feel like my top pick from the Midsummer collection might be a surprise to some people. Maypole is gonna be my top pick from that release. There is just something about a chartreuse yellowy green polish, especially this time of year, that really just like gets me going. I have just really enjoyed that one on my nails. As someone who was recently on the hunt for more pink magnetics, I'm really excited that this release had two different kind of pink leaning magnetic polishes. I'm undecided on if I like Flora or Solstice more, so I'm gonna cheat and use both of those as my other top picks from this release. As far as pricing and sale information goes, both the Midsummer and Aura collections are available right now on the Cirque Colors website. All the polishes in both releases are priced at $15.50. If you want to pick up both collections together or separately, there's also going to be bundles available for both releases. And of course, you can use my affiliate code to bring the polishes down by 10%. However, please note, my code doesn't stack with the bundles as they're already discounted. And again, I have direct links to everything in the description box. And I also do want to mention, for the month of June, Cirque's curated shop on the website is called the Wedding Shop. For the Wedding Shop, Cirque has a variety of polishes available. Both things are like classically wedding shades, as well as things that are a bit more out there and less traditional. And I'm sure you can guess by my general appearance that I am definitely in the non-traditional wedding category. I was just looking at the Wedding Shop and I absolutely love that Cirque also included some nails for the grooms who are getting married as well. My personal favorite polish that's currently available in the Wedding Shop area is Rhapsody in Blue. Y'all remember from my video last month where I kind of crashed out a little bit over Rhapsody in Blue. It's still one of my all-time favorite polishes from the brand. Don't think that just because you're not getting married that you can't check out the Wedding Shop, because I may or may not have added a couple of things to my cart from the Wedding Shop area, so you know, I would love to know what everyone else thought of these releases. If you have previously picked up the Aura collection, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, Stormy fans, your names of course all on the screen right now. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box, or you can click join right next to the subscribe button. Channel members, we have a special members only live stream happening today. If you like seeing my face here on the YouTubes, I have a second channel where I post all of my non-nail polish shenanigans. I'm also across all the various social medias if you really like me that much. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Happy shopping if you're doing so, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.